When Zuckerberg shared footage of his MMA training via Instagram, reactions were wild. Everyone and their grandparents had something to say about it. But what stood out were reactions from UFC athletes, shocked by how good Mark actually is, despite being a beginner. In an earlier interview with Joe Rogan, Mark revealed that it really is the best sport, before adding that he was amazed that he didn't know about MMA before the COVID-19 pandemic. Where has this been my whole life? Zuck wondered barely 5 minutes into his very first training session. In this video, we'll take a look at Mark Zuckerberg and how he began training in mixed martial arts, to how he rented out an entire UFC fight night for himself and his wife. As always, thank you for choosing Bet the Fist, your home for mixed martial arts analysis, lore, and more. Check out our website at www.betthefistmma.com if you're interested in taking your gambling profit to the next level. So, it seems that Meta Platforms CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, is taking out all his frustrations in the octagon. At least, if recent footage of him doing MMA training is anything to go by. And believe it or not, the video is quite captivating. In this video, you can see Mark Zuckerberg throwing punches, dodging, and level changing. Pretty impressive for a nerd. That's right, everything from his stance to punching seems decent enough. So much so that people think he might be ready for his debut on Dana White's Contender Series. Mark Zuck has no experience in combat sports, so his display in the video is spectacular. Hours after it went online, the video had attracted considerable chatter, and surprisingly, it was very positive. In fact, some of the biggest names in the sport heaped praise on Zuck for his decision to don a pair of combat gloves and showcase his skill. Alexander Volkanovski, the #1 in the UFC men's pound-for-pound rankings, box office sensation Conor McGregor, and rising star Sean O'Malley were amongst those who threw in a good word on Zuck's MMA training display. Conor reacted, "Frigging awesome, Mark." Volkanovski said Mark was looking the goods, while O'Malley stated, "Damn, love seeing this." Joe Rogan encouraged the billionaire, saying, "This is great. I'm so happy to see this. Training looks solid too." Other users had their say, too, with most noting that Mark's striking was better than some of the fighters in the UFC. As mentioned earlier, Zuck had already revealed that he had developed an interest in MMA on Joe Rogan's podcast. However, it was not until the video surfaced that one of his training partners at Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu Academy in San Jose, California, revealed that he's holding his own as a fighter after participating in private training sessions over the past couple of months. He's never like, "Don't do that." Kai Wu, an MMA professional and Jiu-Jitsu black belt, said, "He's actually asked, 'Can you give me a little more resistance? A little more force? I want to feel it.'" Yes, that's still Mark we are talking about here. According to Wu, he trains Mark and other jiu-jitsu nerds at the academy in Silicon Valley. He also cautions against crossing some of his trainees, saying, "You'd never expect these guys to be able to take you down. Next thing you know, they're attacking you with these extremely technical moves." Wu added, "You don't know this nerd is a silent killer." And as a testament to this, the very video Mark shared on IG displays his showdown with Wu, including when the billionaire pins the pro to the ground. Now, could there be a fight in the works? Maybe yes, maybe not. I mean, you just never know for certain. Okay, rumors of one particular fight were floated, seeing as Paddy the Baddy Pimblett had once called out the tech entrepreneur. Here is the thing, Paddy defeated Rodrigo Vargas in March 2022 during the maiden UFC London card. After that, he called out Mark after being extremely angered about Instagram banning all of his accounts. In fact, he went as far as to term Mark the world's biggest bully. So, given this history between them, it was not surprising that rumors of a possible match between the two were thrown around once the video went viral. But this was not the only possible fight fans had in mind. Others touted the possibility of Mark squaring it out with CM Punk. What's Mark's motivation for getting into MMA training? During the interview with Joe Rogan, Mark revealed that he often gets overwhelmed by all the notifications on his phone. He also added that he often needs to reset his body in the morning and be more productive, which is why he resorted to exercise. And speaking of exercise, Mark quickly pointed out that while he loves running, He avoids it because it does not help him take his mind off work. Instead, he preferred MMA training because it requires all of his focus, thus enabling him to shelve thoughts about work for a while. He said about MMA, "What's a thing that's both super engaging physically, but also intellectually, where you can't afford to focus on something else. If you stop paying attention for 1 second, you're gonna end up on the bottom," he added. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, our frustrations at work, pushing Mark to MMA. For the first time since 2015, Zuck has failed to make the list of the top 10 wealthiest people in the US. So far, he has lost more than half his fortune, just hear this, a whopping $80 billion and some change, since September 2021, dropping from number 3 on the Forbes 400 list of the US wealthiest people to number 11, currently worth $42 billion. Zuck trails Walmart heir Jim Walton, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and other tech moguls such as ex-Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer and Google founders Sergey Brin and Larry Page. Believe it or not, no one in America has lost as much money over the past year as Zuckerberg. And what is behind all this? Well, he has the plummeting stock price of Meta to thank for his disappearance from the top 10 wealthiest US citizens. Shares have dipped at a time that tech stocks are generally in a slump. So, with all of this going on, MMA training might just be the perfect way for Zuck to let out his frustrations. What do you think about the Mark Zuckerberg MMA training video? Does he have what it takes to duke it out against an opponent in the octagon? Let us know how you think you'd fare against the Zuck. And while you're at it, hit the like button and subscribe for more MMA-related content. From the greatest gambling house in MMA, this is Bet the Fist signing off. See you next time.